Hello and welcome to this episode of Backyard Fitness and Stuff. I'm your host Wyatt, WN, YouTube rapper, YouTube actor, cosplay nerd, overall enthusiast, a lot of things. Hello, this is my variety channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, because of comments like these, I am going to be reacting to Ink Tank. My boy Ryan is a part of Ink Tank, and they put out amazing content, and he's the one that does the art for my EPs. And this is a series called And Beyond, usually circled around Ben 10 monsters and whatnot, but it looks like this episode says alternate versions of Vegeta, Krypton, and Beyond. So it says Dragon Ball and DC, so I'm very curious to see where they go. My favorite superheroes from DC, and then Dragon Ball. I am a huge Dragon Ball fan, so I mean, you couldn't have clickbaited me any better. Right before we get into this review, I like to make music, and my boy made the artwork for it, so I'm going to show you a little snippet of that.
In a different space, in a different place, got a different mindset. Haven't closed the blinds yet. In a different space, in a different place, got a different mindset. Haven't closed the blinds yet. Haven't closed the blinds, but you can catch me peeking just like the sun when it's leaking.
We're very close to having that done, and I hope you enjoyed that. And let's go ahead and get right into this. I see that it's 16 minutes and 39 seconds. The way my camera records, I'm probably going to have to stop around the 10-minute mark, but it's just going to be a quick cut. Either way, let's go ahead, and without further ado, let's get into this review. 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, that's a solid intro right there. Heck yeah. I had my...
Good evening. I am the RRA Info Retrieval Droid Model 337-0, but you can call me Zero.
Alright, Zero.
To assist Dr. Giroux's investigation for Project Cell, I will be visiting a universe rumored to house a living planet Vegeta that was never destroyed, unlike our own. Studying the differences between the history we know and how this alternative version developed a noticeably different society may be the key to Project Cell's success. Readings indicate another decimated planet, Krypton, is confirmed to still thrive in this dimension as well. And because of the coincidental nature, I believe there may be a connection between the two, but there's still more information needed.
Interesting
so we shall start
concept.
our investigation on the proficient planet of Krypton. Please keep all appendages inside the capsule at all times, and please don't stare directly at their sun. Just because it's red doesn't mean you won't go blind.
Makes sense. Oh, I'm excited. Oh, I'm excited. Hey! Oh, this is sick! Why has this already started? Like only a minute or so, and it's already my favorite. Getting better every time.
Krypton, a shining industrial metropolis planet, as well as the closest planet of its system to the red sun. On its surface is covered by very dense connecting clusters of highly advanced militaristic cities. These cities make up a total of 89% of the planet's surface. The other 19% is made up of ore-enriched caverns and cave systems known as the Darklands.
The Darklands.
These dark areas are constantly shrinking due to industrial development. The more cities built, the more ore and area they require, putting the Darklands between some rocks and a hard place, and its remaining resident species at risk of extinction. So to start our exploration today, let's shed some light on the Darklands.
Shed some light on the Darklands. Also like what you did with the rock and the hard place. Very clever.
Scattered throughout the sea of crystalline structures and advanced tech, we find the undeveloped and undisturbed side of Krypton known as the Darklands. Varying in size, these pockets of unexplored terrain can typically be found either underground or unnoticed in the shadows between city sections. These areas are deep red-colored caves and caverns composed of stone and one-of-a-kind ore deposits known as kryptonite. Kryptonite is a concave crystalline gem, highly sought after for its unique ability to absorb solar energy. The overharvesting of these gems is one of the reasons the Darklands decrease in size so rapidly. The other reason being its original residents, the Rajou. Rajou are bipedal creatures varying in size. They are composed of the same stone that makes up the Redlands terrain.
Oh, that's
they are said to
crazy.
be the original Kryptonians, residing on the planet long before the current dominant species colonized centuries ago. Though their bodies are solid stone, their innards are composed of krypton gas compound that, when dispensed, will transform any material into solid kryptonite, ready for the Rishos' consumption. They must keep consuming kryptonite to replenish their digestive gases, because without it, they eventually will starve and become nothing more than rocks in a cave.
I was about to say that one looks sad, but
not
if it's
worse
starving.
than that of those who get captured during harvest. Because of their ability to create kryptonite, many are taken to processing plants to be forcibly overfed to rapidly produce gems for construction and development.
Dang.
Who are the ones responsible for this near extinction? To find out, let's head up to the cities, the home of the Kryptonians.
Let's find out. Reminds me of Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho. Whenever she would like cry like gems or whatever. That's what it reminds me of.
Welcome to the Kryptonian metropolis, home to the Kryptonians. Bipedal, hairless humanoid creatures standing between 6 and 7 feet, not native to the planet, Kryptonians are a nomad-type civilization that colonized the planet under instruction of a Galvan centuries ago. They possess a superintelligence that rivals that of their kind, and have made some amazing technological breakthroughs to show for it, including, but not limited to, the Autos, invented by Professor Otto of Krypton. These are some of the most advanced AI in both the Andromeda and Milky Way galaxies. Artificial black hole generators. Due to Krypton's immense gravitational pull and over-harvesting of materials, the planet's core would frequently become unstable, which could lead to full internal collapse. Now, with a contained black hole in its center, they regulate the gravitational pull to accommodate for the missing internal structure, keeping the planet stable. Phantom Zone projectors. Once Galvan figured out a way to the null void, Kryptonians saw it as a challenge, and in their stride to outshine the Galvan, they discovered another dimensional space they deemed the Phantom Zone. Genesis pools. In efforts to build armies and workforces with the maximum genetic potential, Kryptonians started to practice artificial insemination, growing their young in these Genesis pools off of a genetic template. This has ended all natural reproduction on Krypton. All of these shining technological feats have earned Krypton a tech level of 18, which in most regards is amazingly prosperous. But in the case of Kryptonians, it is terrifying.
Yeah, facts.
Having no substantial physical attributes, Kryptonian society as a whole have always strove for power, and in finding it in their intellect have become a spiteful and pompous people. Facing invasions, natural disasters, and near-apocalyptic situations, Kryptonians have become a very hardened people, and are more than happy to prove so to all walks of life they cross. This non-remorseful attitude toward life was heavily influenced by the teachings
I can see how there's going to be parallels.
Rao previously led the Kryptonian hierarchy with
possible
an iron
cosplay
fist,
for me?
commanding armies and setting law by what he deemed right and wrong. He was able to do this because of the super abilities he possessed. Flight, optic energy blasts, amazing speed, strength, and vulnerability, lungs stronger than a millet laggish, the list goes on. He was a Kryptonian like none ever seen before. He took the governments and societal lead by force, no one being capable of stopping him. He acted and was worshipped like a god, but that was far from the truth. In actuality, Rao was a member of one of the various failed Kryptonian colonies. Originally, Kryptonians attempted to establish homes on many other planets before settling on Krypton. Once Krypton was established, all communication to other colonies was cut as to focus on their own goals for the planet. Rao was angered by this and felt left behind.
Your choice of music and animations is impeccable.
Just arriving outside the planet's orbit, his ship was not authorized to pass and was attacked. This left Rao with no engines, drifting deep into space where he was picked up by the next system's orbit. This system contained a yellow sun, and over the course of 3 years drifting, absorbing sunlight, he gained his abilities.
That's how it goes.
A full head of hair.
A full head of hair.
Through analysis, we've discovered that because of their red sun-enriched environment and radiation resulting from it, the cells of a common Kryptonian are stunted in their development. Through the exposure to yellow sunlight, their cells become revitalized and unlock their full evolutionary potential. This explains why the common people of Krypton
more
lack
hair, more power,
as well as hair. Did you know that solar radiation can cause alopecia? So really, any Kryptonian is capable of having these super abilities.
She mad.
Wanting to keep this truth from his fearful followers, Rao restricted all planetary travel, so no Kryptonian was ever capable of seeing.
All right, quick pause.
The only
quick pause to stop it. Be right back.
Krypton were the ones he allowed. He and his family line
Wait.
used this to create a false lineage of gods to rule over the planet. When
And
a
we're
leader
back.
was finished with their duty, they would shoot their heir into the next star system to absorb yellow sunlight and then crown them upon their return. This has been continued all the way up to Krypton's current ruler, Kodzel. Despite the many restrictions, the people of Krypton still sought for knowledge of the universe. So, they created Eradicators, which are basically the same thing as myself, created to collect information. The main difference is that if a civilization is assessed...
If you're watching along with me, you gotta be sucked in.
hierarchy, they are promptly wiped out. But what happened to all those Kryptonian exploration colonies before they were forgotten to time? Let's take a ride and continue exploring.
Override ignition. Blast off.
Blast off.
Locked on target. Self-destruct initiated. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Welcome to the peaceful planet Vegeta. The most lush planet in its system, on its surface appears to be a thriving garden of life covered in mountainous jungles and widespread oceans.
I'm here for it.
Teeming with dozens of thriving species, there are 3 with enough intelligence to call it home. The first is a native species known as Tuffle. Tuffle are bipedal humanoid radish creatures standing between 2 and 4 feet. What they lack in verbal communication, they more than make up for in intelligence. Crafting homes and farms, they use their chlorokinesis to shape their environment at will. This not only allows them full control of crop production for trade, but also allows them to create architecture without
All the
harming
names in
environment
Dragon Ball
at all.
2 are like
They
vegetable
create homes
names.
built inside of the trunks of sensu trees.
Hey,
They do this to
gotta get
avoid
the sensu
vicious
beans.
herbivore predators of the planet. And because the sensu tree is a natural generator of the energy known as ki. Similar to mana, ki is a form of energy given off by all living things that when harnessed can be extremely useful. They use ki to revitalize their bodies while sleeping, merging their roots with the tree. Sensu trees are extremely difficult to
Eat,
keep
sleep,
thriving,
and train.
especially when an entire civilization uses them as a charger. Lacking any natural metallic resources on the planet, Tuffle rely on their neighbors on the sister planet of Zakachog for trade resources. Centuries ago, on a distant stone-covered planet known as Sadala, lived a dwindling Kryptonian colony. In their short time there, they had exhausted all natural resources and were dying of starvation. Years passed, and with no assistance from the main colony, the people were at what they thought would be the last generation. But thankfully, they would see more. One day, a vessel landed on Sadala. The crew were a team of cartographers mapping out the system. These cartographers were a species known as dragons from the planet Zakachog. Dragons are quadrupedal reptiles standing between 25 and 30 feet. They're an extremely intelligent people on a journey to map out their entire universe. Despite their intimidating demeanor and fire breath to match, they are extremely friendly and caring. Through pleading and convincing by the colony's leader, the dragons agreed to help them migrate to a new planet, but faced an overpopulation problem on their own planet, so they couldn't accommodate them there. So the dragons brought them to their neighboring planet.
Oh, that's
Planet
sweet.
Vegeta.
Good to have the dragons. Hope that doesn't backfire.
Over the centuries, the colonists not only recovered, but thrived and physically evolved on planet Vegeta, acquiring more animalistic traits to better suit their environment. Bringing technologies with them, they worked with the Tuffle to
Adaptation.
create and sustain a peaceful society coexisting with each other. An example being using their
peaceful
crystalline
coexisting,
living
that's what I like
pods
to
as
hear.
solar panels for the sensu trees. With the dragons acting as translators and the Tuffle as mentors, the 3 species shared their knowledge, creating a bond of trust that extends across both planets.
Nice.
As the generations passed in this new yellow sun and ki-enriched environment, the colonists flourished more and more, becoming physically stronger, wiser, and spiritually in tune with the universe. They made peace with all life on their planet, and became a utopian society. By adapting the Tuffle's ki control techniques, they learned to not only control, but generate an amazing amount of ki energy. Because of the substantial evolution they went through, they became an entirely new species. This species is known as Saiyans. Saiyans are bipedal,
Hey.
humanoid creatures standing between 5 and 7 feet. Some spend their days harvesting their gargantuan crops throughout planet Vegeta, while others follow the path of their reptilian saviors and travel to various planets and faraway systems mapping out the universe. Honing their ki control,
We
Saiyans
rolling with you,
meditate
dragons.
every day, allowing them to conjure their own ki to perform powerful techniques. Over many generations, Saiyans that have fully mastered ki control have developed a technique that supercharges
Hey,
every
no spirit
fiber of
bombs
their
in the
being
house,
and
alright?
unlocks their full evolutionary potential, creating an immensely more powerful form that we will classify in our data logs as the Sensu form. With every member of their race able to utilize this form along with their planet-wide united support of all three species, they have
This is a
protected
very
the planet
interesting
from many who
take.
challenge their peaceful ways. Where our universe's Saiyans failed to defend against a galactic dictator known as Frieza, which led to the planet's destruction, the cooperative forces of this universe's Saiyan population were able to hold their ground against the ruthless Brumarian warlord.
Yeah, get out of here, Frieza.
When meditating, Saiyans must be very careful. With the immense amount of energy flowing through their bodies without their ki control, they can accidentally overcharge their still developing cells and burn out their bodies, rendering them powerless until they've recovered. To prevent such events, they have reverse engineered and mass-produced these scouters for Frieza's army after their victory. These scouters are used to monitor the ki levels of those who are still learning to control it, so they don't overwhelm themselves.
Ah,
With peace
okay.
among all creatures of the planet and a
Whoa,
strong
whoa, whoa,
belief
whoa,
in
stay under
preserving Mother
9,000.
Nature, Planet Vegeta has become a tropical paradise for the natives and become the talk of the Andromeda Galaxy. The citizens of Vegeta are very welcoming to tourists and are happy to share their rich lands and knowledge of mastering ki with the many visitors that pass through.
Oh, you're just gonna throw Ben 10 in there. Go ahead, come visit. Oh, you did say something about Saiyans being the... Oh.
Kryptonians, dragons, and Tuffle. All extremely interesting
Okay.
species, but my mission was to collect data on the Saiyans of this universe. My hypothesis on a connection between Krypton and Vegeta was correct. Dr. Gero will be so pleased. Let's contact him now.
Zero, what do you want? I'm extremely
Oh,
occupied
this is
right now
awesome.
with my projects.
Oh, this is awesome.
Sir, I found a living Saiyan civilization. It took a few hundred-dimensional jumps, but I found them. They reside in universe Anua 0001 and are a peaceful species that will create a multicultural civilization.
Peaceful? Those angry war-driven creatures? You have the wrong planet, you insectoid idiot! It seems advancing the AI of a tracker droid was useless. I'll need something more advanced. Cyborgs,
man.
maybe. Have to run that by Frap later.
Sir, I apologize.
Androids?
If you need me to run the data again, I could...
That will not be necessary, Zero. You have miscalculated for the last time. No! Zero! Activate self-destruct!
Sir,
Oh, no.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to plunge back into the void again with me sometime and hunt down the Saiyans wherever they may be. This is Zero, signing off.
Will be missed, Zero.
Good evening,
Hey,
X-Men.
the boy.
Multi-dimensional. Oh, we must have already sent a unit here. Apologies. I'm off to the next planet. I'd better equip my thermoplating.
I love it. Yeah, Saiyan form. That's what I was talking about. At first I was like, oh, Ben 10's visiting? Oh. Oh. Might just have to let this run, because this is awesome. Yeah, I think this is my favorite episode. That was a very interesting take on Saiyans and Krypton. I felt like it was probably, if not one of their most well-done episodes. Ryan, great job. The animations, that conversation that the robot and Dr. Gero had at the very end was awesome. By the way, whoever voiced the doctor, that was really good too. Everything about this episode was sick. Whenever you were talking about the Saiyans of that dimension and how they were more peaceful and had started more of a utopia, that made a lot of sense because the Saiyans in Universe 6 in Dragon Ball Super, as opposed to Universe 7, turned out much more peaceful and turned into like a crime-stopping force as opposed to like a dominating force. That being said, though Universe 6 Saiyans had no reason to push beyond Super Saiyan 1, 2, Blue, any of that. So it led to Vegeta saying, "Where's your Saiyan pride?" and him not understanding it. Not to go off on too much of a tangent, but I really liked what you did talking about Planet Vegeta. Just all of that was a very interesting and fun take on the universe, along with Krypton as well. And I enjoyed the hair, no hair Kryptonians and their way to solve different technological issues, and the fact that them continuing on as a race actually made them more bitter was interesting as well. Did you like that or this or any of this? I know I did. If you dislike that or this or any of this, or if you hate me, be sure to leave a dislike. And until next time, Backyard Fitness and stuff. Let's go.
In a different space, in a different place, got a different mindset. Haven't closed the blinds yet. In a different space, in a different place, got a different mindset. Haven't closed the blinds yet. Haven't closed the blinds, but you can catch me peeking just like the sun when it's leaking. Some beams on the floor, they speaking, feelings, feeding emotions that are fleeting all over the place when I'm thinking, pacing, overthinking.